The 2012 State League Cup final, played at a packed BGC Stadium, saw current cup holders Sorrento meet first-time finalists Balcatta. Sorrento in the sky blue shirts have the possibility of a league and cup double this season, while the cup may be the only chance of silverware for Balcatta, last year's league premiers. In just the 7th minute, Sorrento hit the front. Ryan Pearson pounced on a weak Balcatta clearance. He passed to Todd Harmwell, who fed Gavin Knight, who forced a superb save from Bobson Koroma. But Brodie Martin was on hand to head home. The perfect start for the current cup holders. Koroma blocks Knight's shot superbly, but Martin throws himself at the ball as it loops up, and Sorrento were off to the perfect start. Sorrento should have been 2-0 up when, following James Morgan robbing Jason Barrera on halfway, he burst forward and then fed the unmarked Todd Harmwell. He beat the keeper with ease, but with an open goal at his mercy, somehow pushed his shot the wrong side of the post. He wasn't the only one wondering how he missed. But on 20 minutes they did have a second. Rhys Vitillia received the ball wide on the right and laid it back to Michael Aspin. He curled it into the box where Brodie Martin powered a header past Koroma for his and Sorrento's second of the match. Aspin's cross picks out Martin, who beats Tong to the ball and powers a header past the stranded Koroma. Sorrento, it appeared, had one hand on the trophy after an almost perfect start. But just after the half-hour mark, Balcatta were back in the game. Tong picked out Mo Atak, he beat Curtis Aspin and calmly rolled the ball into the empty net. Atak timed his run to perfection, and a good first touch allowed him to beat Aspin and make room for a shot, and he coolly rolled the ball into the back of the net. Having worked once, Tong tried his luck again, launching another long ball forward for Balcatta. But on this occasion, Steve McDonald was quick to clear when Callum Roberts failed to control the bouncing ball. Johnny Mirko then fed Brodie Martin for Sorrento. His shot struck Shane Nunes, and Mirko then struck a swerving shot on the volley that had Koroma scrambling, but the keeper pulled off a good save. 11 minutes into the second half and Rhys Vitillia received the ball on halfway. He shrugged off the challenge from Jason Barrera and then cut infield past Madashi. Nunes came in with a strong challenge and then stopped, appealing for handball. Vitillia kept going, and then when he reached the byline, pulled the ball back to Todd Harmwell, giving him the easiest of tap-ins. A magnificent run by Vitillia, stretching the Balcatta defence. Balcatta was certain Vitillia used an arm to control the ball in the challenge with Nunes, and rather than playing to the whistle, they stopped. Vitillia kept going, and after forcing Koroma to commit, unselfishly set up Harmwell for Sorrento's third. Yet 7 minutes later, Balcatta had a free kick. David Masevski laid a short pass to Jason Barrera, who, with no one closing him down quick enough, struck a shot that fizzed out of the reach of Aspin and into the net. Balcatta were hanging in there and were certainly making a game of it. Barrera's first touch allows him time to turn and strike a powerful, well-directed shot out of the reach of Aspin. 3-2 to Sorrento. The question was, could Balcatta find a third? Sorrento went in search of a fourth. Ryan Pearson broke down the left, played a sharp 1-2 with Johnny Mirko, drew an overcommitted Koroma and looked to set up Knight, but seeing the headlines, he blasted his shot over the crossbar. Sorrento paid dearly for that miss. Carpe turned Platten and surged towards the penalty area. Surrounded by defenders, he played the ball out wide to Chris Thackeray, who looked up and hammered a right foot pile driver over Aspin and into the back of the net. Balcatta were on level terms. A great run by Carpe and a clever pass. Thackeray has time and space. He looks up and then fires an unstoppable shot past Aspden. The question was, could Balcatta find a fourth? Soon after, David Masevski went to ground at the edge of the Sorrento penalty area. Despite appeals for a penalty, he was caught outside of the box. Ashley Rossendale looked to blast the free kick, but instead rolled it to Nunes. He flicked it on, and somehow Carpe missed when unmarked at the back post. Soon after, the final whistle sounded, so with the scores level, extra time beckoned. Balcatta continued to attack, and when Vitilia's poor touch gave possession to Barrera, he laid the ball back to David Masevski, who tried his luck from long range, but his effort whistled the wrong side of the post. The second half of extra time and Sorrento had a chance to settle the match. Mirko to Brodie Martin, who played in Stuart Montgomery, but his shot on the turn went straight at Karoma. In the 114th minute, Montgomery clipped in a corner from the left, and rising at the back post was Daryl Platten to head home, and off he sped in celebration. Montgomery's corner is first class, but Platten rises unopposed like a salmon swimming upstream and heads home a rare and vital goal. Neither side created another telling opportunity, and after 120 minutes of fluctuating fortunes, Sorrento had ended the victors, claiming the State League Cup for the second year in a row. Captain Todd Harmwell receiving the trophy.
Paul, first of all, congratulations on the win, back-to-back State Cup finals. What does it mean to you?
Well, it's obviously a great thing for the club. You know, they hadn't won the cup before, and that's what we're saying, it's fantastic, and for the players. So I think that we had 6 players who didn't play in the cup final last year, so it's a new experience for them. And so, yeah, it's just fantastic that, you know, Sorrento are a good club, and, you know, everybody's delighted there.
The first half, you guys came out firing, got 2 early goals, then you sort of dropped back on the back foot in the second half. What do you think happened?
Look, we had a great start and we were playing extremely well, and then I think them scoring when they did, it was, you know, obviously it was good from their point of view, but it was a bit of poor defending, and that's probably their first shot at goal, and it goes in the back of the net, and I think that done a little bit of our confidence for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then we sat back a little bit. And the wind started to play a little bit of a factor. You know, the wind started to pick up, and look, we stuck in there, and Balcatta eventually could have nicked it, but so could we. So you know, it ended up 4-3, and I think people said it was a boring game last year. We didn't think so. I thought we played quite well last year in the cup final. But obviously, I don't think anybody can complain this year that it wasn't very exciting.
Michael, thanks very much for joining us. You must be devastated with the result, but your boys did put in a great effort.
Yeah, not so much devastated. It was disappointing. Obviously, you know, it's a cup final and everyone wants to win that one. But you know, at the end of the day, probably, you know, conceding 4 goals, you're not going to win too many of those when you're conceding 4. So that was a little disappointing. But we did, pick up the game in the second half, and from then on, I think, you know, we had a fair share of the game.
Sorrento came out firing in the first 25 minutes of the first half. They got 2 goals up. Did you change anything to get back into the game?
Not a lot. I think we just took a long time to settle down. You know, we didn't change a lot of the shape. You know, in the early part of the game, Chris Thackeray was getting a little bit of freedom down the right-hand side, but we never really started to take advantage of that, probably till later on in the half. And you know, by that time we were 2 goals down. And you know, we wanted to go out and play the type of soccer we're capable of playing. And yeah, that was again a little bit frustrating, a bit disappointing that we didn't switch on from minute 1. But that's something you learn, I suppose. And in cup finals, you don't get much opportunity. You know, it's all over in 90 minutes, isn't it? So it's a win-lose situation, and you've got to win from minute 1.